All right, hello everyone. This is Talon. Right now I'm pretty sick and I've kind of lost my voice, so please bear with me throughout my speech. And sorry about if my voice is scratchy or if it cuts out. All right, imagine being 38,000 feet in the air with turbulence and no human pilot on board. This is not a problem we have today. This is a problem we could have in the future. Only a computer is in that plane, and that's the only thing you can rely on if something goes wrong. Is the computer going to have the correct intuition to land an airplane safely? The answer is simply no. As a pilot working toward the airlines at this very moment, I care deeply about aviation and the safety, and I believe that full automation or autopilot is going to be way too dangerous. AI and computers should never replace human pilots because they lack judgment, intuition, and reliability in critical situations. Problems caused by over-reliance on autopilot is something that us as humans need to stay far away from. Why fully removing pilots is risky, it's something that just cannot happen at all. We need pilots in the airplane at all times. And why limited automation with strong human oversight is the safest approach and opposed to airplanes with full autopilot. Full reliance on autopilot has already contributed to one fatal crash, and this crash in specific was Air France Flight 447, where autopilot malfunctioned at an air show in France. It resulted in 3 people dying, and the plane ended up crashing into a forest at the end of the runway. This is actually a this is actually a demo flight for one of the first airplanes at its time having a fully activated autopilot, and as a result, it did not go as planned. When technology fails, a human pilot at least is there to provide a necessary safety net and backup, and in a lot of cases, it can actually work out for the better. All right, the push towards AI ignores machine limitations, especially in unpredictable emergencies. For example, AI struggles with edge cases, and it's rare and unclear in unusual situations. One example of an emergency where AI would not have been able to thrive was in the U.S. Airways crash that crashed in the Hudson River. A lot of you guys probably know it as Miracle on the Hudson, and this was done by Captain Soley. If there was an AI in that plane, or if that plane was fully AI automated, I doubt that all 155 people on that plane would have survived. And because of human intuition and nature, he was able to use his, I guess, what you would call reflexes, knowing that he only had about less than 2 minutes from the time he lost both of his engines to the time he landed on the water, that a computer would not have been able to do that. They most likely would have resulted in a crash and probably multiple fatalities, which in that case, due to human nature, there is 0 fatalities. Okay, my final claim is automation should support pilots and it should not replace them. Basically, we should be keeping pilots in planes at all times, regardless of how far technologies come. They require strong manual flying proficiency. This is just for pilots. They need to stay current, and they obviously already have all these in place as of right now. For airline pilots, every 6 months you have to go in for proficiency training, and this is just to make sure that pilots are suited for the job, just up to date on just everything in the plane. So they'll test you on like your systems, navigation, engines, battery, you name it, they test you on it. And this is just to keep the pilots current. So as you can tell, like pilots are already at this day and age making sure they're proficient with flying the plane. So as of right now, AI is really not a problem in the cockpit, and every single commercial airplane you go on, the pilots are fully capable of flying the plane. Just to wrap everything up, automation failures or autopilot failures have caused crashes in the past, and AI basically can't handle unpredictable situations. Like I talked about earlier, the U.S. Airways crash where you lose both your engines at 2,000 feet. I doubt that an AI will be able to make an emergency landing better than how Captain Sully did in that case. And just summing everything up, trusting millions of people's lives with computers is hopefully something we don't see coming in the future, and we need to make sure that we keep human pilots in the cockpits instead of AI. Thank you for listening to my speech.